Hello guys, I hope you are okay and that you are ready for a new grammar explanation. In today's class we are going to study Unit 14, which is about adverbs of manner and degree, right? So we're gonna get there and you will see that there are two different of adverbs. So let's start with adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner describe how an action happens. Okay, so I have an example here. I read quietly in the library. So this is the way an action happens, right? That action is the verb read in past. Then we have the teacher says the answers quickly. This is the way, again, how the teacher explains the answers. It's quickly. So these are examples of adverbs of manner. The way or how an action happens. Now, how do we form adverbs of manner? Well, we add ly to most adjectives to form adverbs of manner. We have the adjective quick, and by adding ly we have quickly. She quickly memorized the words. Careful, carefully, right? Nick read the chapter carefully. We have success and it turns to successfully, right? Can you think of more examples? Great. Now, some adverbs have the same form as adjectives. This means that these words are used as adjectives and as adverbs as well. So we have many of them. For example, he studied alone. This is an adverb because it describes how he studied. Okay, in solitude, right? He studied in solitude. Now, the boy is alone. Now, this is an adjective because it describes the boy. All right. Now, let's continue. Oh, another example would be he did the exam wrong. That means that the way he did it was wrong, right? How he did it was wrong. But if I say he did the wrong exam, that means that maybe he was supposed to do the science exam and he did the math exam instead. Okay, that's important. These adverbs usually go after the verb, okay? So we don't say he alone studied, but we say he studied alone, right? The adverb form of good is well. Tom did well on the test. This is a very important and basic mistake some people commit. So we say Tom did good on the test, right? But that's incorrect. Then we have she speaks English well. She speaks English good. No, right? We use the adverb well here as well. So let's see. Well only goes after the verb, right? We say we communicate well. We don't say we well communicate. This is important. This is really important how we use and how take care of the order, right? Be careful in that. Some adjectives end in ly. They are not adverbs. This is important here as well, because sometimes we tend to confuse them. Examples: friendly, lively, lovely, silly, ugly. Sarah is friendly. This is an adjective. It describes Sarah. So this is an adjective, right? Because it describes Sarah. Now, she makes silly faces in class. This is another adjective because it describes the word faces. Okay, now we are going to see the use of adverbs of manner, right? Most adverbs of manner come after the verb or after the verb plus the object. We are not going to put an adverb between a verb and the object. For example, we are going to say he spells terribly. He spells terribly. Or she always writes her essays very carefully. In here we have this pattern. We have a verb and we have an object. In this case, a direct object, right? She always writes what? Her essays, direct object. Now, we cannot put the adverb within the verb and the object. We cannot do this. They take carefully tests. No, they go at the end, or after the verb, or after the verb and object. Okay. Many adverbs of manner can also come before the verb for emphasis. This is the reason why we're going to find some adverbs at the beginning. I mean, before the verb. She nervously looked at the test. This is mainly used in poetic writing, narratives, and descriptions, right? When we want to emphasize the adverb. Adverbs of manner usually come between the auxiliary verb, be, have, or modal verb, can and should, and the main verb. Let's see how this works. They are quietly waiting for the test results. You see here, since they go between the auxiliary verb and the main verb, that's why we have, quietly here. We have quietly within the auxiliary verb be and the main verb wait. Let's see. She has suddenly left the room. You can politely ask a question again. We have the adverb within the auxiliary verbs and the main verbs. Important. Do not use adverbs after be or linking verbs such as appear, look, feel, sound, seem, smell, and taste. Use an adjective instead. The test sounds easy. The test sounds easily, right? That's important. Okay. Now we go to the other kind of adverbs that we have, and this is adverbs of degree. The first ones were adverbs of manner, and they describe how an action is performed. In here we have adverbs, and these adverbs make other adverbs or adjectives stronger or weaker. Okay. For example, the reading was quiet, confusing. Here, the adverb quiet is not describing how the verb is, no, right? But it is making the verb confusing a little bit stronger, right? Quiet. It means that it was so confusing, but it's quiet, it's confusing. Okay, the teacher speaks kind of softly. Okay, we're going to see here some adverbs of degree, and they are going to be categorized according to if they are formal or if they are informal or less formal, and also if they make the part being modified stronger or weaker. For example, we have quiet. It's really formal and it's really strong. Extremely. Really strong and really formal as well. Very. Then we have rather, fairly. It was the exam was fairly difficult. This means that you have a 50-50 possibility, right, to pass the exam. Fairly. Somewhat, right? Somewhat difficult. This makes the other adjective or adverb weaker. Then we have really. We have also so. We tend to use these ones, right? But they are less formal than these ones. I will encourage you to start using these ones because you will sound more native, right? Pretty, kind of, sort of. Okay, how do we use adverbs of degree? Well, Adverbs of degree can be used with adjectives or adverbs to make them stronger or weaker. We have the teacher speaks extremely softly. You see here we are using two adverbs. The first one is an adverb of manner. The teacher speaks softly. It is describing how the teacher speaks. Now, this one, extremely, is not describing how the teacher speaks, but it is making this one stronger. The teacher speaks extremely softly. Then we have the reading was extremely difficult. It is making difficult, and difficult is an adjective, okay? So we are making this adjective stronger as well. Then we have I had a really wonderful day. It is making wonderful stronger. And this, do you remember if this is a formal or less formal adverb? Less formal adverb, right? Now we have do not use the weaker adverbs of degree in negative statements. For example, Tim did not study very hard for the test. Tim did not study fairly hard for the test. Anna did not ask somewhat politely. So we don't use them in negative statements, okay? Use the adverbs of degree with adjectives or adverbs to give opinion. For example, amazingly, dangerously, horribly, incredibly, seriously, terribly, wonderfully. She did amazingly well on the test. This is an adverb as well, and we are making it stronger with this one. We worked incredibly hard on our class project. Your paper is wonderfully creative. So we are giving opinions, right? And we are making the other adjectives and adverbs stronger. Use enough after an adverb or an adjective to show whether an amount is acceptable. Enough is another adverb, okay? And we're going to use it in this way. I studied hard enough. An acceptable amount, right? 2 hours maybe, or 1 hour and a half. Your essay seems long enough. An acceptable amount again. It is a 3 pages essay. So yes, it is long enough. I did not study hard enough. An unacceptable amount, right? I just studied 30 minutes, right? That was not enough. Your essay doesn't seem long enough. An unacceptable amount again. Okay, and to finish, we are going to use to before an adverb or an adjective to show whether an amount is more than necessary. We studied too hard. I believe you won't have problems with this one because this is a basic structure. Your essay is too long, more than necessary. We did not study too hard, not more than necessary. Your essay is not too long, not more than necessary. So that was it, guys. If you have any question, you know that you can ask me. There are more kinds of adverbs, right? We have, besides adverbs of manner and degree, we have adverbs of purpose, we have adverbs of reason as well, and we have different adverbs. So we're going to study them maybe in a future session. I hope you liked and you learned something today. Have a great day, guys.